Sahoo, the professor of English. Recently, I've been just giving you some vital information about active and passive. For more information on the notification, you would please go to my English grammar icon and press the bell icon. Okay, today I am going to tell you broadly about the three forms of a present tense on active and passive. What are these three forms? I already gave you some brief ideas about the three forms of active and passive on present tense. That means present simple, present progressive and present perfect. Today, I am just going to give you some detail or the vital information about how can active be changed into passive on these three important forms. That is present simple, present progressive and present perfect. Let's see. At first, on present simple, broadly I am telling you the importance of a present simple in changing active and passive. Present simple is the tense. This is the first tense form of a present tense. So this is called present simple or present simple tense forms. What are the present simple tense forms? You first know. The first base verb of English is go. And if the subject is in third person singular number, then you can add s just to make it goes. So go or goes, these are the two present simple forms in a declarative sentence. If you want to make these two forms into negative, you can use don't go or doesn't go. So don't go or doesn't go also comes under present simple in a negative. Go goes comes in the present simple form of affirmative. Even the interrogative also do go or does go. In negative and interrogative, does is used for third person singular number. If your noun or pronoun in the subject part, remember, noun or pronoun in the subject part, if it is in TPSN, third person singular number, then you have to take the help of the auxiliary verb does for present simple. In negative, also in the interrogative, same formula is there. Same making of a present simple is there. For third person singular number, use does go. Here go is the main verb. Remember, go is the main verb because it has its one meaning. Main verb means they can be used independently in sentences. Auxiliary verbs are used just before the main verbs. That is why the name of auxiliary verb is also known as helping verb. So here, does for TPSN, third person singular number. That means if the noun is in third person singular number, you can use does both in a negative and interrogative. If the noun or pronoun is not in third person singular number, you can turn to do both in a negative and interrogative. But if the sentence is not in a negative or interrogative, you can use s for main verb for the positive or affirmative. If the sentence is in affirmative or positive, you can add s or es to the main verb to make it present simple. So that means these are the three forms of a present simple. So far as the making of a present simple is concerned. Go or goes in the affirmative sense. Do not go, does not go in the negative sense. Do go or does go in the interrogative sense. Does is used in the negative and interrogative if the subject or noun or pronoun in the subject is in TPSN. TPSN means third person singular number. If the noun or pronoun is in third person singular number, you have to use does as the auxiliary verb in a negative and interrogative. Otherwise, if the sentence is positive, your affirmative means positive. Positive means which is not a negative. If the sentence is in positive, then you can add s to the main verb. And if there is no third person singular number, you can simply go to go. That is the base form of the verb. That is the root form of the verb. So on these three forms of a present tense, we can change active into passive. Again I am saying that go goes in the affirmative sense present simple. Your present simple becomes do not go or does not go. Does is used for noun or pronoun in third person singular number in negative. Does plus main verb is used also for noun or pronoun in third person singular number in interrogative. So on the affirmative, negative and interrogative, these three forms come under present simple. Your present simple can be used in the affirmative, your present simple can be used in the negative, your present simple can be used also in the interrogative while changing active into passive. Now with certain examples I am explaining you. You just look at the examples how your active and passive be changed into. How can active and passive, or how can active be changed into passive in negative, interrogative and positive? With some example you just try to understand. Suppose first is the affirmative. I have already told you, affirmative means that is positive. Affirmative means that is positive. Positive means something that is not a negative. Suppose we say, we eat bread at night. We eat bread at night. So who eat? We is the subject. It is the verb, and this verb is in present simple. Here PRS is the short form or the abbreviation of a present simple. Present simple is known as PRS. So it is the main verb. So this main verb is made into present simple it. Then what do it? You put the question what? I have already told you in the previous class. You put the question what or whom to the verb, you get your object. And this object is otherwise known as receiver in the active voice. So here bread is the object. What do we eat? Answer is bread. So bread is the object. We eat bread. And if you want to know something about your at night, this particular structure or this particular expression, always remember at night is the adverb. And it is the time adverb. How can you get the adverb? You put the question when to the verb. When do you eat bread? Answer is at night. So at night is the adverb. Because this adverb adds to the meaning of the verb. Or if you make a question to the verb, you get adverb. What type of question? You may put the question when, you may put the question where, you may put the question how, you may put the question how often, you may put the questions how much. Definitely you get your adverbs. But here adverb has no importance for us in changing active into passive. For changing active into passive, three important things are necessary. First, the subject, that becomes the object, object, that becomes the subject, it, which is in the present simple tense. So now, this is the sentence in the affirmative or positive, and it is the active voice. Why is it active? Because we have the object here. If there is no object, we cannot make it active. So for active, there must be the object or a receiver. Now, change this active into passive. Just like cross multiplication in mathematics, here bread is the object, now it is being changed into bread as the subject. Okay? Now similarly, here subject is we, it can be changed into by plus us. Here us is the object, obj, object. Only we needed to change is the present simple form. It is the present simple form, and bread is the subject or uncountable noun. So as the subject is an uncountable noun, so singular verb is used. Then past participle of it is called eaten. Eaten is the main verb or past participle, and here eat is the auxiliary verb. Always remember your auxiliary verb comes just before the main verb. So now we got the passive voice from this active one. In the active, we eat bread at night. In the passive, bread is eaten by us then at night. You can also use at night by us. There is no problem. If you just like interchange at night and the last, or at night just before by us, the sentence does not have any such of importance for us. Our importance is particularly on the object to subject, subject to object, and this particular present simple tense verb. It is the present simple tense verb, so the passive is eating. That means you already know if in the active there is a present simple, in the passive, suppose present simple is in the active voice. In the passive, you just take the help of the present simple auxiliary verb. In the present simple, we have the three auxiliary verb, which comes under your be verb. Is, am, are. These are the present simple be verb, be auxiliary verb. then your main verb becomes PP. Is am are plus main verb is equal to PP. Okay, so you just saw how present simple is changed into is am are plus main verb plus PP in the passive. So when you change the active into passive on present simple tense, first you have to take the help of a be verb. These are the is am are, these are the three forms of a be verb in present simple. You can use for singular, you can use am for are, and you can use are for plural, noun or pronoun. Then main verb becomes past participle. So now we just change the active into passive on present simple in the affirmative sense. Now we have to change this sentence in the negative. How can you make the sentence into negative? In order to make the sentence negative, only you make this particular it present simple into negative. How can this it will be changed into negative? Do not eat. It should be do not eat. We don't eat bread. Why do is used? Because we is the first person plural. We is the first person plural pronoun. That is why the present simple is do not eat. Don't eat is the present simple. PRS in the short form, you just remember. Don't eat is the present simple. Same formula in the passive. Please write down. Bread is the object. Now bread becomes the subject. Similarly, we is the subject. By us is the object. Then at night. Same thing should be repeated here. Only you have to change this present simple into the passive in the negative. Do not eat in the negative. Now if you change this negative present simple into passive simple, you can use is not. Only you have to add not to make the sentence negative. Same thing, same formula is applied. Only for the negative, you have to add eat, not. That means bread is not eaten by us at night. Always remember, if the active has a present simple, you have to take the help of be verbs. Present be verb. These are the present be verb. Is, am, are. Then main verb becomes your past participle. So now our negative is already over. Do not eat is changed into is not eating. Here eating is the main verb which equal to PP. That means the passive is bread is not eaten by us at night. Okay? Then we have to make the sentence into interrogative. How can we make the sentence into interrogative? Actually, always remember, we have two forms of interrogative. Number one is the yes no interrogative. Number two is the WH interrogative. Interrogative means if you make the sentence interrogative. First, suppose I write down interrogative. INTERROGATIVE. What is interrogative? Interrogative means one type of question. You have to make interrogation. Interrogation means you have to ask some question. Why do you ask question? To get the answer. So now, a sentence will be there in the same sentence but in the negative. Do you eat bread at night? Okay? Now, this is the active voice and do eat. These two verbs come under present simple. Do you eat at night? This sentence is called interrogative. What type of interrogative? It is called yes no interrogative. You can also write that yes no interrogative or yes no questions. Why is it called yes no interrogative? Because if you put this question, your answer is limited to yes or no. If I ask you, do you eat bread at night? You can answer my question, yes, I eat, or no, I don't eat. That is why when the answer comes through yes or no, that is why the sentence is called yes no interrogative, because its answer comes either in yes or either in no. That is why it is called yes no interrogative. Your yes no interrogative generally begins with a verb. And this particular verb can be the auxiliary verb or it can also be the main verb. Here do is the first verb, so definitely it is the auxiliary verb and it is the main verb. These two verbs make present simple. These two verbs mix present simple. That means your auxiliary verb do and the main verb eat. These two verbs when combined together, they create present simple. Now the sentence is in the active voice, also in the yes in no interrogative pattern. So while you have to change this sentence into passive, remember this yes no interrogative can also be changed into yes no interrogative. You have already made the sentence into yes no interrogative. So while you have to change this yes no interrogative pattern into passive, this same pattern should be retained. So how can it be retained? Just like see, in the active, we begin the sentence with the auxiliary verb. In the passive, we have to also begin the sentence with the auxiliary verb. What is the auxiliary verb? That is called is. Here is the auxiliary verb. In the active, with do, your auxiliary verb begins. In the passive, with is, your auxiliary verb begins. Is for what? Is for the subject bread. Remember, here bread is the object. Here you is the subject. I have already told you, your object becomes the subject. So here bread is the subject. So bread is the subject. And bread is the subject, and bread is also uncountable noun. And always remember, your uncountable noun stands for singular verb. So is bread, then main verb is changed into past participle. I have already told you, your eating is the main verb, is equal to past participle. What is past participle? Past participle is the third form of the verb. In the conjugation of verbs, the third form is always the past participle. So is bread eaten at night by you? Is the bread eaten at night by you? Then put the question mark. Now our yes no interrogative is over. Yes no interrogative means its answer comes in yes or no. Your yes no interrogative begins with the verb. It can be the auxiliary verb, and this is the auxiliary verb and this is the main verb. So if this auxiliary verb and this main verb combined together make a present simple. Do it is the present simple. Same thing is there. I have already told you, if there is present simple, your auxiliary verb, you have to take the help of these three auxiliary verbs. For a present simple in the active, you have to take the help of isamar plus main verb in the passive. Bread being the subject in the uncountable noun, so your passive voice begins with the auxiliary verb is. So is bread eaten at night by you? That means your interrogative in the active can also be changed into in the interrogative in the passive. So always remember, if the active is in the declarative, your sentence will be declarative. Declarative means the sentence will begin with the subject. If the sentence is negative, the passive also should be negative. If the active voice is in yes no interrogative, the passive is also should be in the yes no interrogative. Okay? Then we have called another interrogative, that is called WH interrogative. Yes no interrogative is over. Now we have to focus on another interrogative, that is called WH interrogative or question. So what is WH interrogative? WH interrogative means your interrogative sentence or your question should start with the WH pronoun. WH interrogative means it will start with the WH pronoun, just like what, which, who, when, how, where, etc. So while we put these WH pronouns in the beginning of sentences, they make WH interrogative or WH question. If I ask you, what do you eat at night? What do you eat at night? Now you just see, here the sentence begins with a WH verb part. So this is called a WH pronoun. Because this pronoun begins with a WH. So that is why the sentence is called a WH interrogative. Since the sentence begins with a WH pronoun. Now we have to change this active of WH interrogative in the same pattern in the passive. So when you have to change this active into passive, first you have to use WH. First you have to use WH what? Then similarly, your do eat is the present simple. I have already told you. You is the subject. Okay. So for what? Then for present simple do it, you can use the auxiliary verb is. What is? Then main verb of eat is called eaten. What is eaten? At night. At night, the subject you can be changed into by plus subject by you. That means what is eaten at night by you? So active is what do you eat at night? So do it is the present simple is changed into is eaten in the passive construction. So when your WH interrogative begins with the WH pronoun, you have to also use that WH pronoun while you have to begin the passive. WH word. Here WH word is the object. Remember, here WH word is the object. So what remains what in the passive? Only you need to change is the present simple form do it. So do it is changed into is eaten. Then at night by you or by you at night. So now you just got some idea about how your active can be changed into passive with the WH pattern. So our declarative is over. Negative is over, S no interrogative is over, and W is interrogative is also over. Okay. Then you simply go to the other second form of a present simple. The second form of a present simple is called present progressive. It is called present progressive or continuous. Why is it called present progressive? Because when the speaker says something, some action is going on. When some action is going on at the time of the speaking of the speaker, it is called present progressive. That means some action is in progress at the time or at the present time. That is why it is called present progressive. So what is the structure of making of the present progressive? Similarly, you have to take the help of the be verb. We have the three be verbs of the present simple, is, am. Then your main verb takes ing. Always remember, this ing is called progressive or continuous. Whenever you use ing to the main verb, it becomes your continuous or progressive. So first present, this is the making. Remember, this is the making of a present progressive. How we make present progressive? Present progressive means first, this is the be verbs. These is, am, are the present be verbs. So with the be verbs, you simply add ing to the main verb. So is, am, plus ing is equal to present progressive. On this present progressive, now we have to make active into passive, or we have to change active into passive. Suppose the question is that the girls are enjoying the movie. The girls are enjoying the movie. M-O-V-I. Movie means play. So who are enjoying? The girls. The girls is the subject. What are the girls enjoying? The answer is the movie. The movie is the object. And what are the girls doing? Are enjoying. Are enjoying is the verbs. Similarly, we have two verbs here. Are is the auxiliary verb, enjoying is the main verb. So these verbs are in present progressive. These verbs are in present progressive tense. So now the sentence is obviously active because we have the object here. Now change this active into passive. So the object can be the subject. So the movie. Similarly, the girls is the subject. It can be changed into by the girls. By plus object. Here the girls is the object. By plus object. Only you have to change the present progressive active into present progressive passive. That's a very simple rule. You just remember. Here the movie is singular or plural. That means the movie is the subject. Remember, here object becomes the subject and movie is the noun. In the subject part, movie is the noun and movie is the SM. SM means singular noun. In the subject part, movie is the noun and movie is the singular noun. So for singular noun, you have to use the singular verb. That is. Here are is used as the auxiliary verb, plural verb, because girls is the plural noun. But movie is the singular noun, so singular verb is used. Ist. Only you have to change is this ing should be changed into being. So whenever there is ing in the active, simply change this ing to being. B-E-I-N-G, being. Then past participle. Enjoy is the main verb. So what is the past participle enjoy? The answer is enjoyed. The movie is being enjoyed by the girls. The movie is being enjoyed by the girls. Now, you just get your passive. Object is changed into subject. Subject is changed to by plus subject. Only are moving, are enjoying, which is in present progressive tense. Only you have to change is that ing is changed into being. Everywhere, wherever there is present progressive, you have to only convert this ing into being plus pp. Here enjoyed is the main verb is equal to pp. pp means past participle. So only one word or one form of the verb you have to remember, that ing in the present progressive is to be changed into being plus pp. Being plus pp, then you just get your present progressive passive. Present progressive active passive is already over. Okay? In the same formula, suppose you have to change this active or passive in the present progressive in the S no interrogative. If I say in the S no interrogative, suppose there is active. Active one. Where is the beggar? Where is the beggar eating the food? Where is the beggar eating the food? Remember, this present progressive is the WH interrogative. Or just like the present simple, you first start with the S no interrogative. If we just make the sentence into S no interrogative, the sentence is the beggar eating the food? Obviously the answer is yes or no. That is why it is called S no interrogative. Is the beggar eating the food? This is called S no interrogative. This present progressive is S no interrogative or S no question. So the beggar is the subject, the food is the object, and is eating is the present progressive. So now change this active into passive. Active into passive means when you have to change the food as the object. Remember, food is the uncountable noun. As the food is the uncountable noun, you have to begin with the singular verb is, because for every uncountable noun your verb becomes singular. So same verb should be retained, same verb should be used here. Is, then object should be subject, is the food. Then present progressive is eating, so ing should be changed into being plus pp. I have already told you in the past example. Then past participle of eat is eaten, main verb is equal to pp. So is the food being eaten by the beggar? Is the food being eaten by the beggar? Question mark. Now you just get your passive. Only you have to remember while changing the active into passive on present progressive verb that if your main verb ends with ing, because unless and until you use ing, there cannot be progressive verb, there cannot be continuous verb. Ing means it makes the sentence progressive. So this ing is changed straight into being plus pp. Ing is to be changed into being plus pp in the passive. Otherwise, your object should be subject should be object in almost all areas of active and passive. Only you have to change the pattern of the present progressive into passive. Your S no interrogative is over. Then if you want to make this S no interrogative into WH interrogative, only you have to add the WH. That means, where is the beggar eating? Where is the beggar eating the food? Now it begins with the WH pronoun. So where is the WH pronoun? So that is why the sentence is called a WH interrogative, and it is called a WH interrogative. Since the sentence or the active begins with a WH pronoun where. Where is the beggar eating the food? Similarly, in the passive, you reproduce where. Now the active begins with where. Also the passive should begins with where. Similarly, like only if the where is the beggar eating the food, that means where is the food being eaten by the beggar. Same formula, same rule, same method, same process. Where is the beggar being eaten? Where is the food being eaten by the beggar? B-E-G-G-R, beggar, question mark. Now, your WH interrogative. WH means only you have to add the WH pronoun. Otherwise, same rule is there. So, our S no interrogative, our WH interrogative, and our declarative pattern on present progressive is over. Now, present perfect. Our third form of the present tense is called present perfect. On present perfect, we have to make passive. First, we have to know what do you mean by present perfect. Present perfect means the action is already over, but its result is still there. Present perfect means making. Always first know the making of various tense forms. If you don't know the making of various tense forms, you cannot change the active into passive. So how can you make a present perfect? First you have to take the help of has have verb. On present perfect, we have the two have verbs. First is the have, this is the root verb, and second is the has. Then your main verb becomes PP. So this is the structure of making of the present perfect. Have, has plus main verb plus PP. Your main verb becomes past participle. So I already told you about the making of the present perfect. Now we have to change the active and the passive on the what pattern? Declarative pattern. Suppose they say the child, suppose the child has done his homework. The child has done his homework. Okay. The child has done his homework. Who has it done? The child. So the child is the subject. What has the child done? His homework. His homework is the object. Has done. Has plus PP. So done is the main verb is equal to PP. Do, did, done. Done is the third form. So this total has done is the present perfect. Now change this active into passive in the declarative pattern. His homework object becomes the subject. His homework. Okay. Then the child, as usual, it should be by the child in the passive. Okay. Only you have to change this present perfect active into present perfect passive. When you have to change this active into passive on present perfect, only you have to add the third form of a be verb. What is the third form of a be verb? Been. B-double-E-N. So his homework has been done. Only you have to add this been. For ing, present. For ing in the present progressive, in the passive, been is added. For present perfect has, you have to add been. So has been done. The answer is over. His work has been done by the child. His homework has been done by the, it's his homework. His homework has been done by the child. That means you just remember, if the sentence is in present perfect, has a plus PP, in the passive, you have to add simply been. For has a plus PP in the present perfect active, for the passive, you have to only add been. Has been or have been plus PP. Been done is the main verb or PP as usual. There is no change. There is no change. There is no change because has for singular, child is the singular. Has is the singular because homework is singular or uncountable noun. Only you have to add been. So if there is a present perfect has a plus PP, in the passive you have to add been. Similarly, if the present progressive ends with ing, this ing is converted into been. So ing into been, has have into been. This is all about your present progressive and present perfect. Yes, if you have to, suppose you just like a puzzle over the pattern of the WH interrogative that begins with who. In most cases, we have seen that most of the children, they fail to understand, even they fail to change active into passive, if the sentence simply begins with who. Suppose from who? Who. This is the WH interrogative because it begins with the WH verb. So who has done his homework? Who has done his homework? Now the sentence is active. Who is the subject? His homework is the object. Then has done is the present perfect. And done is the main verb which is equal to PP, past person. So if you have to change this active structure into passive, always focus on your WH pronoun, that is who. This who can also be retained. Retained means without altering any position or without changing any position. This who can be also used as who. And if the active begins with who, you have to begin the passive with who, but concluded with by. That means who is changed into who, but the passive will be changed and will be ended with by. That means who begins with who, but ends with by. And the other person now changed. That means who has his homework been done by. Who has his homework been done by? This is called the passive. Only who should be changed into who, then by should be ended with in the passive, and the remaining portion should be changed as usual. That means if the present simple in the active, that means has a plus PP, you have to add only been. You have to simply add only been to make your passive. Who has a have plus main verb in the active, has been have been plus main verb in the passive. So I now am just sure that you just understood my important points on changing active into passive, particularly on these three forms of a present simple. Number one present tense. Number one present simple. Number two present progressive, and number three present perfect. For your better understanding of the active into passive on present simple, present progressive, and present perfect, I am simply putting certain types of questions for you. In the next class, when I will be taking your next class, I will explain you how these actives are changed into passive on present simple, on present progressive, and on present perfect. So now you just note down these questions. If I say, who helps you in this exercise? Question number one. Question number two, mother is feeding the guests. Mother is feeding the guests. G-U-E-S-T-S. Question number two means active number two. Number three, they have already decorated the rooms or decorated the room. They have already decorated the room. Question number four, a trouble constantly worries me. Number four, why are they solving the problem? These are the five questions. Five questions here. Helps is the present simple. For your understanding, you please underline helps is the present simple. Is feeding is the present progressive because we have the ing. Similar, have decorated, this is the present perfect. And decorated is the main verb is equal to pp. Worries is the present simple. Then are solving are the present progressive because we have the ing. So you simply try your level best to change these actives into passive ones. In the next class, I will explain about how I have to change this active into passive ones in the next class. That's all for today. Thanks.